Crypto in a red week right now so far, but I'm zoomed out. I am zoomed out on this chart. This is the altcoin chart. Basically, around 4 years of compression and consolidation, the altcoin markets at the intersection of the current business cycle and what's getting ready to happen, pro-crypto legislation, this chart has never looked better. It has never looked better. Ethereum acting as a really nice roadmap in the shorter to midterm, because when we do look at altcoin charts and the altcoin markets, if we look at this chart, I don't know when the breakout will happen. I don't know how this will play out exactly from a time frame perspective, but I do know Ethereum has been acting as such a good short to midterm roadmap. And right now, Ethereum is at a critical area that I want to talk about because this is an incredibly meaningful area. This is a target area. So what happens next is important. So hit the subscribe, hit the like on the way in. If you're not in our intelligence system, please check it out. 40% sale in the pinned comment below. We've got our risk models. There's Doge on the screen right now. We've got our exit planners and a ton of just data to just plan your strategies for this crypto cycle. So here it is. The altcoin chart. I wanted to make mention of one thing, and then I want to pivot to evaluate Ethereum, because I think whether you hold Ethereum or not, the Ethereum charts right now are kind of going to give us, I think, a sense of what next. And by the way, $10,000 target to the upside in a speculative scenario that I want to play out for you. But listen, these speculative scenarios, this is why I like doing analysis. We were speculating about this entire throwback, this pullback, this busted pattern that is in play right now. So let's start with the altcoin chart though first. What I noticed while I was setting up the video was very simply, because I was just kind of looking at this upper trend line and I'm like, man, altcoins are really close. And I do not know when this will happen, the breakout to the upside, breaking all-time highs. But when I was looking at this, I did notice in general, we have an ascending triangle. And maybe there is more just frustrating consolidation in store for crypto markets, right? Maybe we come down again and we're testing these moving averages and we're kind of starting to fall into an apex of sorts. And then we're breaking out, but we have a very nice target into the $7 to $8 trillion area on this altcoin market cap chart. This is excluding Bitcoin, and I wanted to point that out. And I think the main reason I want to point it out is not the target; it's just to show you as we evaluate Ethereum the trigger move that could be potentially getting ready to happen. I think when the altcoin market really does start taking off, it's going to just happen fast, and the sentiment. It's already from week to week just changing so fast. Like we pump 5%, everybody's bullish. We drop 5%, everybody's bearish. But I think we get this move, the breakout on this altcoin chart, we're going to see just absolute hype in markets from a sentiment perspective. But let's look at Ethereum. So I want to start here. This is a clip from March 3rd real quick. Maybe it takes weeks to bottom, but we're getting very close probably for an Ethereum bottom. I do not think Ethereum will hit the target out of this symmetrical triangle to like $500, $600 down here. I think this will end up being a busted pattern, as I've mentioned before. All right, I know I play that video all the time. Number one, I'm having so fun with this entire setup because look at it, it played out. But number two, I just know I have because we're in a season now where there are new people watching these videos. This is what we've been tracking. This is what I'm currently tracking. And right now, it is in a very meaningful area. Ethereum at a resistance area. We've hit our resistance area. And I'm going to show a clip. This was from July 11th. This was like just around a couple of weeks ago. Check this out. But I'm talking more in the short to midterm. If this Ethereum move continues to move to the upside, this area is really crucial if you think about it, because this is... All right, now we're there. So I'm just trying to lay out the story. We've been tracking this for months and months and months. We're at that intersection of breakout or resistance. Like, which way is this thing going to go now? And for altcoin holders and for this altcoin chart, this is big. What Ethereum is doing right now on the daily chart. So I want to speak to this. I want to look at support and I want to look at targets to the upside, because this might play out where Ethereum actually does continue to the upside. Before I talk about those targets, I do just want to show you something. In terms of this move that we're in right now, I think I mentioned this the other day, the momentum oscillator, the slower moving momentum oscillator here, the RSI, we've hit overbought. But we could very well be in this move like we were back here in October, November 2023, and look at all that upside that was in store. And look how overbought it was, right? I just want to point that out from a momentum perspective on the daily. And furthermore, if you look at the actual Ethereum chart, look what just happened. All of these moving averages starting to cross above the 200 day. So there's the 50 in blue, the green is the 20, there's the 200 in red. Well, in that overbought move back here, what was happening? Same thing, the 20, the 50, just making that move. That's exactly where we are right now. We're just making this move. So point being, there's a lot of upside for Ethereum. Now let's talk about first resistance, because we are at this upper trend line and it is acting as resistance. Look at Ethereum. No surprise, it is kind of interacting with this upper trend line in a struggle type of way. And it did the same thing at the lower trend line. If you remember, we were tracking the entire move from March back here. We were saying, I think we're going to come down and pull back, and look at that test right there. It was so much resistance there. Finally breaks above, and now we're at resistance at the upper trend line. It's of no surprise. This is exactly why I enjoy technical analysis so much. But here we are, we're sitting at that resistance. So what does that mean? Well, I have this area right below us that I'm very curious of. If it could act as kind of a floor, a launch pad for Ethereum to launch off of and escape the resistance. It's this right here. What it is the swing high back here in December 2024. So let me chart this really quickly. Swing high to swing low. It's a lower high Fibonacci. Ethereum has broken that green area. Let me move this up a little bit. Ethereum has broken that Fibonacci. And currently, we've gotten a little separation from it. You can see, not a ton. And currently, Ethereum now is testing that Fibonacci, maybe for some support. That's what could be interesting in the short term. Maybe Ethereum sees support at the upper end of the Fibonacci. Maybe it kind of goes lower to the lower end. I'm not sure, but I'm looking at this entire range down to around $3,000, $3,100. Maybe it's the upper end. Maybe Ethereum just starts actually making a move to the upside and we got that support. We flipped it from a resistance area to a support area and Ethereum makes a move to the upside. The next obvious target is very simply the previous swing low from swing high from December 2024, and it is sitting around $4,100, $4,200. So what does Ethereum do then? From where we are right now, it's a nice move. It's meaningful enough where people are probably going to get excited. 14% move for Ethereum. Other altcoins probably doing more work than that. 15, 20, 25% or more in terms of other altcoins. But that move happens. Now we're at a really critical test because that is that previous swing high. And we'd be entering this range that I'm kind of looking at like this really strong resistance range before the real altcoin fun begins. If Ethereum starts breaking into the range, it's going to be fun. Ethereum breaking 4,000 is going to be fun. But breaking above this range in general, up to all-time high, going into price discovery for Ethereum, for altcoins, now that's going to be next level fun. And that's when we're going to start seeing this chart in price discovery as well. This is the total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin. This is the altcoin chart. So that's the resistance so that we could be getting ready to run into. We had kind of our short to midterm resistance, and now we have our macro resistance. So the short to midterm resistance is where we are right now. The macro resistance is here. Break that, it's game on, and it's going to be fun. Now, if we do go lower, I want to point something out to you, and this is kind of where this $10,000 target speculatively comes from. If Ethereum and alts start falling, Ethereum tests this lower range, then it starts bouncing. I just can't help but see a potential inverse head and shoulders here. If it's going to revisit this apex, inverse head and shoulders, the target would be around $10,000 to the upside. And that is just such a nice bull target for Ethereum. I think Ethereum has so much fuel to break $10,000 this cycle, but that's a very nice target for Ethereum in this cycle. And you can just see if altcoins do in the next week or two start falling and Ethereum's falling and testing even the lower trend line here, maybe 28, 2,900, we could have a right shoulder setting up. So we're in this environment now, and I don't think it as strongly as back here in March where I was really talking about this busted pattern coming into play. I don't think it as strongly that this will happen, but it's absolutely in play. And it's something that I will be watching for just in case we start dipping. I want to see what kind of structure Ethereum starts putting in as it kind of overlaps with the apex of this massive triangle. So that's what I'm watching. I think Ethereum is very probably crucial to watch if you're an altcoin holder. It's explosive right now. It just takes one move, everybody. And I really do think we've waited months for this move, meaning we've come down and we're putting all this work in to get here. Time's ticking. Time is ticking, especially for people that are just like, altcoins are so bearish. I just think time is ticking. The move is going to happen, and that's it. We're in price discovery. So it's taken a while to get here, but I think we're there. So those are my thoughts today for Ethereum. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, turn notifications on, and get into our intelligence system, or at least check it out if you're a macro investor and if you're interested in risk models and exit planners. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.